Hey, okay, so looking into lesson 2 on perimeter and area, just a little reminder right here that area is the space inside of a shape, and the perimeter is what goes all the way around it. Remember your formulas for perimeter and area. Remember that P equals 2L plus W plus L plus W. I'm using my mouse, so my handwriting is going to be pretty bad. Try to make it as neat as I can. And then my formula for area is A equals L times W. Now remember, perimeter is just plain units. We have just units, but area, my A, is the only place that I'm dealing with square units. Nothing else gets square units except for this A right here. All right, so let's dive on into the lesson. Now, I'm not going to go through both of the lessons, both of the practices, because they're identical. It's just one of them is going to give you scenarios. But the skills are the same. So let's take a look here. So remember your formulas for area. Remember your formula for perimeter. And let's take a look. All right, so let's look at this. Determine the missing side length of a rectangle given a side length and the perimeter or area. So let's look at this problem. The perimeter of a rectangle is 42 inches. Remember, is in math means equal to. All right, dealing with a rectangle. The rectangle is 13 inches long. How wide is the rectangle? So we're looking for the width. And they start off by giving us the perimeter. So that's what formula we need to write down and start with. P equals L plus W plus L plus W. All right, now let's plug in what we know. It should be a plus sign right there. The perimeter of a rectangle is 42 inches, so my perimeter is 42. The rectangle is 13 inches long, so wherever I have that L for length, I'm going to come and put 13 plus 13. Drop down my plus signs right here. Now, since it says how wide is the rectangle, I don't know the width. So my width is going to stay W. It's my variable. So looking at this problem, the only thing that I can solve right now is I know my perimeter, my total is 42. I know one side is 13, one other side is 13. So if I had, let me try and draw a shape here. If I had a rectangle and I had to label it, it would look like this. It really doesn't matter which side you pick for your length and your width. Just know you have to pick those opposite sides. So technically perimeter is whenever I add all four sides together, right? My problem tells me that if I add all four sides together, my perimeter is going to be 42. Well, right now, all I have is 13 and 13. Well, let's see how much is taken up here and here so I can find what's left. So what am I going to do to see how much is left here? I have 13 here, 13 here. I need to add 13 plus 13 to see how much is taken up. So I get 26 plus W plus W. So I have 26 that's taken up so far for my perimeter. But I've got to get to this total of 42. So to see what's left for my two W's right here, I have to say 42 minus 26. So whenever I subtract, I get 16. Now, 16 is not my answer, even though it is up there. I get 16 that's left, but I have to take 16 and I have to give some of it to this W and some of it to this W. So I'm splitting my 16 up. So if I split my 16 up, that is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. So one of my widths is 8 here, the other width is 8 here. Because if I combine these two together, I'm going to get that 16 that I had left over. Now, if you wanted to go back and check it, circle our answer, you could say 13 plus 13 is 26, 8 plus 8 is 16, and 26 plus 16 is going to give you that perimeter of 42. Okay, so let's take a look at the next question. The perimeter of a rectangle is 62 inches. The rectangle is 19 inches long. All right, so let's look at the next one. This one says the perimeter of a rectangle is 62 inches. The rectangle is 19 inches long. How wide is the rectangle? So we need to start with our formula for perimeter because it tells me what perimeter is. All right, so let's plug in what we know. The perimeter is 62 inches. The rectangle is 19 inches long. How wide is the rectangle? So I don't know the width, so it's going to stay a W, and I'm going to drop everything else down. So let's look at what we know right now. I know my total. I know this side and this side, but I'm missing my two sides right here. So let's add what I have right now. I have 19 plus 19, which is 38. And I'm going to drop down my two W's. Now, 38's taken up so far, but I've got to get to that perimeter of 62. So let's see what's left by subtracting from my total. 12 minus 8 is 4, and 5 minus 3 is 2. So I get 24 that's left. But I have 24 left that I need to split between these two W's. So I have to say 24 divided by 2 is 12. So that means that one W, one of my widths, is equal to 12. And if you wanted to check by finding the perimeter, you could say if one side is 19, the other side is 19. If this side is 12, this side is 12. 19 plus 19 is 38. 12 plus 12 is 24. 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 1 is 6. And so I get my 62. So my width is 12. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so this one, instead of perimeter, this one gives us the area. So it says the area of a rectangle is 63 square inches. The rectangle is 9 inches long. How wide is the rectangle? So instead of using perimeter, because now it gives me area, I've got to use that formula for area. So let's plug in what we know about the area. I know that my area is equal to 63 square inches. My length is 9, and I don't know my W. But whenever I plug in what I know, my W should be pretty obvious. My width is going to equal to 7. Now, I just figured out the width. I have one W. I don't have two W's like I did with perimeter. I don't have to split it because it's area. And there's only one W. So this W gets everything. He doesn't have to share like perimeter does. So my width here is 7. And if you need to check by finding the area, you can say one side is 9. One side is 9, one side is 7. 9 times 7 is 63 square inches. All right, last one we're going to look at. The area of a rectangle is 20 square inches. The rectangle is 5 inches long. How wide is the rectangle? So we start out with area because that's what it gives me. I plug in what I know. I know that my area is 20. I know that my length is 5.
Pittsburgh, Shelby, y'all come on, let's go.
And I don't know my width, so it's going to stay a W. So whenever I write out my equation, my W is very, very clear. 5 times 4 is going to give me that 20. So my width is 4. And again, I don't have to split it like I do with perimeter because I only have one W. So my width is just 4 inches. And now it's not 4 square inches because the only thing that gets the square is that area right there. All right. So I hope this will help on your work for Thursday. Let me know if you need anything.